Frustration! Getting bigger! Bang, bang, bang! Pull my devil trigger! We're not talking about Devil May Cry 5 quite yet. No, today we're going to be talking about Devil May Cry 2. You remember my last review that I talked about getting the HD collection if you haven't played the first Devil May Cry game yet. And, while I recommend the HD collection still, I don't necessarily think the first game is worth the $40 price tag alone. So, maybe you guys would like to hear some more. Does Devil May Cry 2 fit the bill? Does that justify the $40? No. From what I can tell, the director of the original Devil May Cry was placed in other projects, and despite the original success, a new director was placed in charge. His name? Unknown. Capcom didn't like him well enough and actually replaced him with a new director in the last 4 months of development. Doesn't sound like a good recipe, does it? Devil May Cry 2 is considered the black sheep of the original trilogy, and while the DMC reboot is far more polarizing, most people agree that this game is one of the worst in the series. I remember enjoying the game for the most part, but I don't remember much about the game, honestly, which isn't good since there are 2 campaigns in it. I do remember the name villain that Dante is hired to kill, though. Let's take on Arius! So the plot starts out with a red-headed character named Lucia fighting in a museum for some coin. Wait, why the fuck is Mundus here? Anyway, Dante shows up and helps kill some harpy-looking demons, and then off to an island country, the setting of the game. Dante is tasked with killing Arius and his master, later known as Argosax, a powerful demon that Sparda sealed here. And that's it. There's something about Arcania that comes up later in the story, well, in Dante's story anyway. The game won't shut up about them after like 3/4 of the way through the game. But in Lucia's missions, they're certainly more addressed. Lucia's story is actually a bit different. They have her hunting Arcania and certainly addresses them a bit more. They don't just show up out of fucking nowhere. But yeah, it turns out that these Arcania are artifacts used to seal away the demon Argosax, the same one Arius is trying to gain power from. Also, Lucia's story is a bit more fleshed out than Dante. She thinks she's a member of a tribe that helped Sparda way back when, but she's actually a creation of Arius himself. This doesn't develop well, but in the meantime, eventually Dante and Lucia gather the Arcania. Dante gives it to Arius with a fake piece. They leave the tower, get back to the tower, then Dante decides to shoot Arius a few times, then goes into hell to kill Argosax, while Lucia decides to kill Arius again, because now he's back and part demon. Yay! I'm not gonna lie though, this running around padding crap does actually happen a few times. Like, Lucia is supposed to be looking for the last Arcania, but when she randomly sees a helicopter, she decides to take a side trip to try and kill Arius. And right before she can do so, he reveals all of this information that, oh hey, you're just a puppet of mine, and then teleports her into a fight. And then after the fight, she's teleported into the middle of the temple with the Arcania? What the hell? Isn't Arius looking for these damn things? This story goes all over the place, honestly. Even Dante sees Arius' chopper in the middle of the city and decides to go to the same damn oil rig Lucia was just at. And then Arius just summons some random-ass demon and leaves. The whole oil rig level for both Lucia and Dante is damn near pointless because it does nothing for the plot whatsoever. The story sucks this time around. It's all over the place. It has no place being this long. And is honestly still a short story. Most things have no point to the plot, and the entire game feels like almost padding just to extend it out. It doesn't work. And Lucia, oh my gosh. So, Lucia, she finds out that she's a demonic creation of Arius. I hate to say it, but this kind of comes out to me as a bit melodrama. It's not horrible, but I don't think it's executed well is the problem. She finds out on the oil rig after chasing Arius' chopper there, I guess beating Dante there. And he does the big reveal, and, she's supposed to be getting the Arcania, but, had to make sure that this stuff happens, so, it isn't bad. Honestly, she thinks she's a devil in her own right, and then Dante tells her that devils never cry, and her reaction isn't horrible, but, I've seen better. Example? Trish. She's kind of a knockoff version of Trish. Sure, Trish knew she was a bad guy, but, it was just done so much better in the first game, and I hate to compare this to the first game to death, but honestly, the first game is just a better example of everything here. The acting was a little cheesy, sure, but it wasn't disjointed. I really think Lucy is a lesser version of Trish, and her dialogue seems kind of only half there. I'm not sure how to describe it. Arius is the only other character that talks a lot. He clearly is looking for demonic power to replace a specific character from Tekken, but unlike that character, Arius is annoying. Seriously, why is everyone a knockoff in this freaking game? Arius' voice is just annoying, he's bizarre, but he's taken so damn seriously, it takes me out of the game whenever he shows up. On the flip side, you have Dante, who barely says anything. He goes from goofy but kind of cool protagonist to more stoic than Batman, which isn't bad, but if you've played the first game, it makes no sense for Dante. Actually, if you've played any of the other games, it makes absolutely no sense with Dante. Heck, the reboot. At least he had a personality, right? I'll be playing that in a bit. Don't worry. We'll see how that goes. But for now, this game, Dante barely says like 10 words in the whole freaking game, and it's crazy. Honestly, I just feel that the whole game has bad writing. The characters literally repeat their lines almost word for word, what they say earlier. The dialogue feels disjointed. The voice acting is not the greatest. But maybe you don't need any of this to enjoy the game, right? Yeah, sure, we're here for the gameplay. Well, let's go take a look at that. Okay, so thankfully moving into the gameplay section, there's some actual good here. It is a heck of a lot easier to dodge foes, and, the double jump is unlocked from the start, which is nice, and you don't have to necessarily lose it while changing weapons. And if there's a wall there, it makes them go higher, just like the first game. Dodging, however, is kind of hit and miss, but the inclusion is great. Honestly, easily the best inclusion from first game to second game. And yeah, sometimes he's trying to be too flashy. Like if there's a wall nearby, he'll just dodge up the wall. The problem is that this can actually mess you up more if you aren't expecting it. Everything else is pretty much the same as the first game though. You kill demons, find red orbs, buy upgrades, though you can now upgrade swords and guns, but this doesn't add new moves to your arsenal. It's just damage output, which can make the combat stale, unfortunately. Lucy isn't too different. She's slightly faster than Dante and has more aerial combat moves, but that doesn't mean too much overall. Her guns are replaced with throwing knives, and they're a bit slower, but just as strong. Honestly, guns are way stronger in this game too, which seems odd. You can combo with just guns if you wanted to, if you shoot at something long enough and dodge well enough. It seems like an odd design choice, but the lack of new moves is definitely distracting. The gameplay is solid and expands on what works in the last game, other than just the pistols and guns are much stronger. Oh, that's really weird. Let me see if I can find out a reason as to... Oh no. There's a lot of aerial foes here. Oh man, some foes that can just be on the ground stay up in the air for way longer too. Oh man. Lucia, it's not bad with her because she can just jump up and hit them, but Dante only has a downward slash from the air. Oh, they replaced new combos and new attacks for stronger guns because of this, didn't they? Oh no. Okay, enemy designs are nice, but reused very often. Levels get repetitive quickly. At least they don't repeat level. Never mind. Yep, that's the same level as before. Crap. Well, Lucia has a few different levels, but mostly repeats Dante's. Oh no, this isn't good. Boss fights. Surely, maybe they've improved on the boss fights. Okay, all right. Let's take a look here. Camera isn't too bad. We've got a gorilla and a boss from returning from the first game. Oh, cool. What is spider? Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Oh. Huh. That was a bit lackluster. God, Phantom again? Like I'm surrounded by giant spiders. Ugh. Ugh. Honestly, though, no fanfare for killing bosses, they just dissolved? And the designs are okay. I mean, some of these bosses do look really cool, but most of them are just... Most of these boss fights are boring. What the hell? Is this guy even fighting back? Oh no, he's actually shooting the building across the street. What are the odds that building's going to attack? Seriously, come on! Okay, fine, it did attack, and I guess this boss isn't too horrible. The final boss is okay too, but still a lot of shooting on both of them. In his first form, as all the previous bosses, I guess he was absorbing their power while they were dying, which is why he revives anyway, despite Dante switching out one of the Arcana pieces. And Griffin? He wasn't even in this game. Why is he suddenly here? What the hell? At least Phantom has some type of excuse, even though he was revived out of nowhere. But Griffin? What the hell? None of this changes in hard mode either. Shocking, I know, right? I actually played hard mode. Well, there's a specific reason I wanted to play hard mode. And, yeah, let's just show you guys right now, because, I mean, we're not doing anything here. This is boring. So, yeah, the reward of hard mode that I wanted to try out. Believe it or not, the only problem that I have with hard mode is that you have to beat Dante's and Lucia's normal mode to unlock it. That means that I played through 3 campaigns of this game. And it steadily declined the more I played it. Oh, believe me, you do not want to play this game 3 times in a row. Playing it once is iffy at best, but God, 3 times? At least the other Devil May Cry had something fun. Hard mode was different. It had different enemy placement. This? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I started noticing the flaws a lot the more I beat the game. And unfortunately, I started noticing the flaws a lot after picking the game up after, you know, a few years, which isn't all that good to begin with either. But the nice thing is that when you do beat the game, you do get a level selector, which is nice for wanting to upgrade the characters. I mean, blue orbs are back. You know, you can go find them and get them and increase your health. Also, you unlock something called Bloody Palace mode after beating the game, which is neat for harvesting red orbs if you wanted to upgrade. I played this with Trish. Yeah, the main reason I beat hard mode with Dante was because it unlocks Trish. She's slightly different and the better version of both Dante and Lucia, but mostly plays like Dante, but better. Also, she's using Sparda, but this time around Sparda has devil triggers, so yeah, for once Sparda is actually the best weapon in the game, period. Speaking of weapons, both swords and guns are hidden this time around. Alongside blue orbs, they don't change much, they just have a few different stats. It's not like picking up one of these weapons changes Dante's fighting style. He stays the same, more or less. It's just weapons are shorter, stronger, faster, longer, things like that. It's not like Alistair and Ifrit where, it changes up the fighting style completely. So, yeah. The guns are kind of the same way. They're nice to have. At least, the submachine guns are really, really, really weak, but, at least they fire really, really fast. So, it's just small things like that, which is kind of a shame, honestly. Again, makes combat a little stale. Devil Triggers, however, do have their own upgrades. You don't necessarily need to rely on one weapon's Devil Trigger to get all the upgrades that you really want. So, that's kind of nice, I guess. You can get different elemental abilities, super speed or flight, healing or, strength, which is nice. I also especially like the look of Lucia's Devil Trigger. Yeah, that's about all I got on that one. This gives the swords lesser meaning, this gives weapons lesser meaning, and this definitely gives more emphasis on Devil Trigger. But, honestly though, getting hard mode, level select, Bloody Palace, and being able to unlock Trish, as well as, really nice costumes, there's some decent secrets to have here and there, and the weapons are definitely better than your everyday standard weapon, so that's nice too. It just would be nice if the swords had some more significance than just, being slightly upgraded versions of Rebellion. That's all I'm saying. Alright, let's wrap this up. I think I've been ranting long enough. So I mentioned before that the first game, while good, and definitely recommended to try out, doesn't necessarily warrant a purchase for the HD collection. This game doesn't help. You're not buying the HD collection for this. Believe me. Honestly, the story, the way the characters act, this game doesn't have the same feeling as the first Devil May Cry. And let me tell you, it doesn't necessarily have the same feeling as any other Devil May Cry either. Honestly, I don't believe there's a such thing as a bad game. And I know there are people out there who truly, actually enjoy this game. But who could I seriously recommend this to? The gameplay improved and takes away at the same time. There are cool secrets, but for the good ones, you have to play the game multiple times. And honestly, good luck with that. If you want to try this game out of curiosity, that's fine. It's probably cheap to get anyway, or if you get the HD collection, this game happens to be there with the first and the third game. The first game is way better, and the third game is often considered the best in the series, though I'll get to that in a bit. Look, I know the production was rushed. I know that it was kind of a rush job and everything like that, but I gotta review the final product here, and there's not many people I can recommend this game to. Sorry. I know there's people who genuinely enjoy the game, but there's certainly fewer and far between, that's for sure. But in the meantime, we gotta go back to Devil May Cry 3 now. It's a prequel, and considered to be the best game in the series, so this is gonna be fun to look back into that. And then I can finally play Devil May Cry 4. Oh, it's been a long time coming. Until then, we'll catch you. Ah, God! Ah, ah!